Welcome back, Hampshire Science students. This video today is all about the metric system. Specifically, our goal is that we can, by the end of this video, convert metric units. We're going to be doing this using our understanding that we built in class about the metric system and the units that are a part of it. So you should have notes very similar to these from class. If you don't have them out right now in front of you, take them out. Pause the video. Okay, take them out and put them in front of you. Okay, or you can pause it and just copy down what I have here. And you are going to need a pen, some kind of pen or pencil, and paper right now. So take those out, pause the video, make sure you have your notes with you. Okay, because we're going to be looking at some different examples and breaking down the steps. Okay, you got your video, you got your paper, you got your pencil. Okay, get ready. Let's write together. Okay. We're going to start off here with just some simple metric conversion problems. Okay, we're going to be talking about how many grams are in 0.4 kilograms. Make sure you write this down with me. How many grams? Write it with me. Okay, pause if you need to. Because we're going to walk through 3 simple steps that, using our notes together, we can figure out this conversion. Our first step is very simple. All you need to do is you need to find the prefixes that you're working with from our metric system. Let's write that down. Find the prefix. Okay. Let's look at back at our different prefixes here, right? We have all the way from kilo down to milli. We remember this with King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk, or just simply writing KHDBDCM. Okay? So we remember that by King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Awesome. So let's write those down. I'm just going to write down these to help me remember, okay, so that I can identify what prefixes we're dealing with. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Okay. So, in this problem, it looks like we are dealing with 2 prefixes, or we're dealing with 2 numbers, 2 values here. We have kilograms and just regular grams. So that's pretty easy here. Here's kilo, that's for king. Now, grams isn't anywhere on here, but remember that grams is one of our base units. So we are going to be going to the B in our letters here. So the grams is our base, so I'm going to go to the B. So we found our prefixes. Number 2, our next step, is that we are going to count some hops between these guys. Okay, let's write that. Count the hops. Okay, easy peasy. Okay. What this means is that we're going to be counting how many steps we have to take to go between these 2 prefixes. So if we are starting at kilograms, right, because we know our amount of kilograms, and I want to get to grams, which is our base, I'm going to have to go 1, 2, 3 hoops, right? 1, 2, 3. And so we have 3 hops. And specifically, we want 3 hops to the right. So we've identified our prefixes, we've counted our hops, and our last step is to very simply move our decimal. We don't have to do any math here because we've already planned it all out and we've already set things up together. So we're starting with 0.04. Okay, and since we moved 1, 2, 3 hops on our prefixes, we're going to move, right, here's our decimal, we're going to move 1 hop, 2 hops, 3 hops, and here is where our new decimal place is going to go. Okay, and what are we going to do here? Well, we're going to have to replace some of these open spaces with some zeros, right? There's a little swoop here with nothing in it. Okay, that's a perfect spot for a 0 to go. So our new final answer is going to be, right, this is no longer where the decimal is, and we don't need these zeros anymore. Okay? Looks like I just have 4, 0, and our units for the new one are going to be our base. They're going to be grams. Look at that. So we took 0.4 kilograms. We moved it 3 spaces to the right, and we got 40 grams. Okay. Now you could add the decimal here if you wanted, right? Because that's where we said it would go. But remember that most whole numbers don't really need a decimal. So you can leave it there or not leave it there. That's fine. Let's take a look at another example. Okay. Let's take a look. So, hey, first of all, before I move on to the second example, do you have this all written on your page? If you don't, pause now. Make sure you write it on your own. Got it written? Okay. Let's do a different one, except this time maybe let's use some liters. Okay. Let's say how many, let's say hectoliters are in, let's do 50 deciliters. Okay, or if this was going to be written simply, it was going to be DL. Okay, and hectometers, that could be HL. Okay, so let's go through this again. I'm not going to write these out again, but I'm going to use my colors to help me identify, right? Because we are first finding our prefix. We have K, H, D, B, D, C, M. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Okay, where are we going with? We are starting with deciliters. Oh, remember, we have 2 Ds. But deci, if we go back to our notes, is the second one, right? Because A is the first letter in the alphabet, so the goes first. So we are looking at the second D for deci. And then we're trying to get to hecto. That's going to be the H. So now we got to count the hops, right? How many times we need to move? 1, 2, 3. Look at that. 3 times again, except this time we're moving 3 times to the left. So let's set up our final answer here. I have, right now it is 50 DLs. So remember that any whole number, the decimal place is going to be boop right at the end of the number. Okay, just like we talked about up here. So I'm going to move it this time 1, 2, 3 spaces to the left. 1, 2, 3. This is where my new decimal place is going to be. And just like before, I'm going to fill in the swoops with zeros. Okay. So my final answer is going to look like this. I have decimal place 0, 5, 0. We were looking for hectoliters. So we have HL. Now you might be noticing that normally when we have a decimal, we go ahead and write 0 in front of that, right? That looks better, right? 0.050 hectoliters, HLs. Okay. There we go. There's our answer, right? Swooped 3 to the left, and we got our final answer. Let's do one final example. Let's do this with meters, and let's do a big move this time. Okay, let's say that we're running a 5K. That's 5 kilometers. Okay, so if we have 5 kilometers, let's turn that all the way to millimeters. How many millimeters did we move? Okay, so sometimes you'll see problems written like this rather than like a sentence out. Okay, we have 5 kilometers and we have question mark millimeters. I'm going to go ahead and write my prefixes again, okay, just like I did in all my other ones. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Easy peasy. Okay. What are our prefixes? This one should be fun. We've got kilo on the left. That's what we're starting with. And millimeters is what we're trying to find. That's the M. So how many hops do we need this time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hops. Whew, that's going to be some big moves here, right? Because we have the number 5. The decimal place is going to be after the 5 for a whole number, and we're going to move it just like the swoops here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and place our new decimal place. Sometimes it even helps me to go back and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that. We got all 6 of our moves. And we're going to go ahead and fill in all of these moves with 0, 0. Look at all of these. So our final answer here, if we go ahead and take away all the swoops, is going to be 5 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. Okay, that is 5 million. Remember, our new unit we were trying to find was millimeters. And there's our final answer. Okay, if you follow these 3 steps, you count the prefix, find the prefix, count the hops, and move the decimal, you can do any conversion problem with our metric units. Using this, take a look at some of your homework and see if you can try some of these problems out. We will review again next time I see you guys. So take your time, make sure to contact if you have questions, and I'll show it all here so that you can make sure you've got everything written down to here so you have all your examples. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.